Welcome to the Up Arrow Podcast with William Harris, featuring top business leaders sharing strategies and resources to get to the next level. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hey everyone, I'm William Harris. I'm the founder and CEO of Element, then the host of the Up Arrow Podcast, where I feature the best minds in e-commerce to help you scale from 10 million to 100 million and beyond as you up arrow your business and your personal life. We don't remember the ads with the best click-through rates. We remember the ads that made us feel something. The ones we quoted, the ones we sent to friends, the ones we talked about the next day. And today's guest has spent his life studying exactly why that happens. Chadwick Wilson went from a blue-collar upbringing in Ohio to moving to LA at 18 years old with no college degree to working on Hollywood productions, performing sketch comedy, going viral on Funny or Die, working on the set of Two Broke Girls, and eventually helping brands understand how to stop making forgettable ads and start creating culturally magnetic stories. Chad, welcome to the Up Arrow Podcast.
Wow. Hey, thanks, Will. That was really good. I love that answer. My God. If I could have you travel with me and just do that every time I walk into a room.
Well, we got to pick a song too. What's your song? I mean, we'll play the song as we walk out.
Oh, man.
Some fireworks.
Like AC/DC, just get some classic rock, me getting on the stage. That was awesome. Thanks, man. No, I'm happy to be here. This is going to be really fun.
Well, this is especially fun because a lot of times I talk about like who introduced us, and I don't know who that was because we were friends back in like elementary school. So yes. It's really fun to have you on here, man.
Thanks. Yeah, we go way back, and it was probably like a pastor or somebody in our church that was like, "Hey, this is Will, this is Chad, nice to meet you." We definitely have a history, which has been great, like same sort of upbringing. So I love this. I'm glad we could actually do this together. This is gonna be really, really fun.
Likewise. I have one quick interruption, then we're going to get right into the good stuff here.
You're good.
This episode is brought to you by Element. Element is an award-winning advertising agency optimizing e-commerce campaigns around profit. In fact, we've helped 13 of our customers get acquired, with the largest one selling for nearly $800 million and one that IPO'd. You can learn more on our website at element.com, which is spelled ELUMYNT.com. Okay, Chad,
yes.
You've said brands should create the kind of commercials people talk about around the water cooler. What's the last ad you saw where you immediately texted someone and said, "This is it, you got to see this ad"?
I think it was actually recent. So it was at the Super Bowl, and it was Manscaped. I think I sent it to you. And
you did, and we're going to pull those up here in a little bit too.
So I mean, Super Bowl is where all the best ads come. And this year it was okay. I mean, there wasn't really too many great ones, but this one was like a really... like it just hit home because, and when we show it, I'll talk why, but like it was just so on point of what the brand is. There's hair on the ground. There's like, it's like they are like talking in their puppets, and it's all this like really kind of magical kind of thing. But it made me talking. I sent it to my buddies, and I was like, this is hilarious. Because Manscaped does a really good job, just not only with the commercial side of things, but also UGC, branding themselves really hardcore on social. They're very good on social. So that one was like a big one for me as most recent is Manscaped.
And what do you think is the thing that separates an ad that people watch versus one that they share like that?
Well, I think it's all about what's memorable in the sense to them that relates to them. So like they'll watch something and be like, "Oh, that was cute," going back to my day. But when people talk about stuff that is always top of mind, and I think it even goes with film too, with movies or even TV shows you watch, where you're thinking about it after you've seen it, and then you share it, and then I just think that's honestly where this kind of whole world of social media happens, when people are just sharing really good content with people. But I would just say, that's the big part, is like the most memorable, pushing the envelope, things that stick in your head longer than just a second, and then you go on with your day. I think those are my favorite type of commercials, honestly.
We're going to break these down. We're actually going to show examples and all that. Before I get to that piece, though, I want to go into your background a little bit. Again, you came from Ohio, didn't go to college, went to acting camp for literally a week. Suddenly you're getting calls to move to LA. Was it confidence, delusion, or both?
That's funny. I think it's like a mix of both, honestly, because it was... So my senior year of high school, I got into like speech and debate. And that's where I kind of like really fell into this whole stage presence of like, oh man, it's it's fun to make people laugh in a room. And so I was doing this whole thing, and it was my senior year, and I had no idea what I was going to do with my life. I literally was like, I was in accounting in high school because it was just an easy class to take. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll become an accountant. I'll get into communication, something in that world. And I kind of fell into this whole love of arts and being in front of people and just having fun in that entertainment space. So literally as soon as I got my diploma, I had an opportunity to go to Maine to go do an acting class. And it was like a course for like a week. And I've never done this before, except for like making dumb videos around my house or for school with my buddies. And so I went to this course, and it was taught by like this guy named Barry Primus, who I'll always remember for the rest of my life because he was best friends with Robert De Niro. And nice. so he had a really good history of that era of film. And so he was a really great coach. And he came to me like middle of the thing and was like, hey, you might want to look into coming out to LA. And I was like, wow, that's really crazy to hear that from you. And once the camp was done, he was like, literally, he's like, you need to come out to LA. You have the chops. You know what you're doing. And he's like, when you get out there, you hit me up because you should just do it. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So a couple weeks go by, a couple months go by, and my mom, who was like my manager, was just sending out headshots and a little reel from that camp I just came back from all over LA. I mean, literally every agency she could send it to, she did.
Thanks, Mom.
And she was on the phone. I know, literally, my mom is like why I have my career today, honestly. When I was like 18, had no idea what I was doing. So we got a call back from this agency in LA that was like this. They were across the board. So across the board is like back in the day was like commercials, print, and TV and film. So that's like across the board of what they were. And they called me back or they called my mom back, and they were just like, hey, we'd love to meet him in person. We have this kind of open call. It's happening next week. We'd love to, because I know you're in Ohio, so we'd love to have him come out. And I was like, sure, let's do this. So my uncle and I went out. We stayed in Burbank. I went to the audition, and honestly, when they said audition, like they didn't mention like it was a cattle call. Like literally everybody and their mother was at line out the door,
or their
and
uncle.
I was like, yeah, exactly, right. So like in my head, I'm like, this is not even realistic. Like this is crazy. Like it's cool to experience this, but I don't think I'm gonna land this because I literally walked into a room with like 9 other people, all shoulder to shoulder. You do like a quick little intro. Hey, who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing? Whatever. And then then we left, and that was it. And I kid you not, a day later, I was at the Warner Brothers studio tour, and we were just doing it, having fun, checking out all the sights and the sounds of the studio lot, and literally got a call when I was like looking at the Batmobile and the Scooby-Doo machine and like all these like cars that we grew up watching and loving. And I got this call, and they was like, hey, is this Chad Wilson? I'm like, hey, yeah. And they're like, hey, so we want to sign you. And we want to represent you in our agency, and we want you to be a part of our commercial, print, and literature, and also film and television, and we want to sign you and get you started. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I'm like, yes, let's do it. Sign me up. I will be out here in a month. And so, no joke, went back to Ohio, packed my stuff up, packed my Jeep up. My parents packed their car up, and we just drove cross country, landed in LA. And by December 2005, I was officially in LA. So
Man.
Crazy, right?
I love that though.
Thanks, man. It's
I think there's something about optimism, and I'm wondering actually if you get some of this from, obviously your mom was very influential with but from your dad. If I remember correctly, your dad owned his own business, and so there's something about like Midwest like grit and optimism to be able to do that. Like, do you think that you get some of that from him?
I mean, my dad's always been somewhat of he was a business owner. So he was a risk taker. He took risks with what he was doing every day, but he was also a really hard worker. He's the hardest working guy. He's still working to this day. He just turned 70 last month. Wow. So he's still working to this day. And that's the one thing he always taught me was like, just if you want something, work as hard as you can and just go for it. Just never give up. But they were very supportive though. Like their parents of like, hey, if we don't think you have it, we still support you, but we're not going to fully support you.
Right.
But when it came to entertainment, they were like, this is what you were born to do. We've seen it your entire life. You've loved this. You loved being a part of this world. That's all you used to talk about was TV, film, your entire life. Try it out. Go for it. You got nothing to lose. But I will say, looking back, I was totally delusional. I had no idea like what I was
Yeah.
doing. But I think I like that's the best way to kind of take life by the horns, is being delusional sometimes, because you don't have yourself getting in the way. You have nothing interfering with you. And I kind of sometimes now, like I'm almost 40, I'm like, I kind of wish I had some more of that delusion again. Like I kind of wish I could go back into my early 20s and be like just so naive to life, with not being beat down or like, oh, you're not good enough or this is not going to work for you. Because when you're so young and you have no idea, you try to chase anything. And that's kind of what I've learned from that. And so I kind of I try to do that more as I'm getting older, is just be a little delusional from time to time.
There's a theme that I've seen on the podcast where almost every single big success anybody has had was literally on the other side of the hardest thing they had to go through in their lives. And I think, to your point, it almost takes delusion to push through that, because it's scary. It shouldn't work. And for a lot of people, and here's the thing, like, you got to talk about like survivor bias. There's a lot of people who are going to push through the hardest thing. It will not work for them. And so, like, I want to call that, like, maybe 9 times out of 10, it won't work. But you can't be the 1 out of 10 if you don't push through those hard things either.
100%. I mean, there was times too, I was like, because dude, we're from Ohio. We're from a small town. It's not a big city. And I was 18 when I came out to this huge metropolitan, and it was just such a life change. I mean, there were so many different things I've never seen before in my entire life. I had no idea what was on the other side of the pond. I mean, it was crazy, man. I mean, like, I was living in a studio apartment with people I've never met in my life. I didn't know anything. And it was terrifying sometimes. I mean, there was moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I might have to just pack it up and go back home, because I don't feel confident yet. I don't feel comfortable. But there was just always a thing inside me that was just like, keep pushing. You're going to achieve it. And that was the one thing. And like I said, I had a lot of support. So I think if I didn't have that support, I would not be where I am now. But I will say, yeah, it's just like the delusion, but also like the pushing through the hard times. That's kind of what got me to where I am today.
And then, Funny or Die, you go viral. Tell me a little bit about, like, what was the... I haven't even watched it. I've intentionally stayed away from trying to... Like, what was the moment that you went viral? Wait,
did I tell you the title of the show?
I don't think so.
This is why it's funny. So the title of the sketch that we did was called Awkward Phone Sex. Okay. Oh, no. So I was in this sketch group. So when I was it's like my mid 20s, I was working at WB Warner Brothers, and there was just so many creative, talented people that was working in this tour department thing. And tour department, it's like, I mean, dude, you're giving tours, man. You're like, over here to your right is this. This is where they shot this. And it was just just me to get a foot into some sort of industry. And so I got a chance to become a tour guide at Warner Brothers. And I met these really cool group of people that were there that were like, hey, we're starting a sketch group. And like, you seem funny. Let's try to see if we can do this. So we formed this, like, it was a big squad. It was like 13 people. Some were from Chicago that already had kind of that IO experience. And then people from LA on the West Coast. So we just kind of were a bunch of misfits that kind of came together. And once again, we were a little young and naive, had no idea what to do. And we just started randomly creating sketches in like a garage in like the valley out here in Van Nuys. And we were just doing it and practicing and getting like the flow of it, of like kind of like what our comedy was. And we were called Ant Farm Recess. That was our name. It was called Ant Farm Recess. Terrible name. I don't even know where that even came from, but terrible name. And then we got a chance to perform at one of the big. I mean, there used to be so many cool comedy little shops out here in LA. They all kind of shuttered down after COVID. But like iOS, Second City, the Comedy Store, we were like at all of them, and we got this opportunity. We just started performing. And people were like, oh, you guys are really funny. Like, let's have you keep coming back. And then at one point, it was iOS was like, hey, we have a spot. It's like an attic in the they have like 3 different stages, and one was an attic. And they were like, every Sunday night, it can be yours. It's a 9:30, 10 p.m. call, like, for a show. But if you guys want it, it's your spot. And you guys can take the full hour. You guys can bring in other groups to perform with you. And we were like, yeah, why not? Why would we pass this opportunity up? This is great. And once again, we didn't have like serious jobs. I mean, we were all just like assistants, or we worked at the tour department, and we just all had this like regular little jobs that didn't matter. So we were like, let's do it. So we took advantage of that. And we did. And so then I was a part of this sketch that was called Awkward Phone Sex. It was me, My buddy Aaron LaPlante, he's killing it right now. He's like in everything. He does all this great voiceover. If you've ever seen the show Primal on It's Adult Swim, he's like the main guy on that show. He's also does a lot of like other great cartoons, but he's awesome. Like this big burly guy. He's 6'5", and then this girl Libby, who played my girlfriend in the scene. And we first tried it on stage, and it was like this. It was like two couples that were just, and on stage it's really weird because you're trying to play this scene out with no props, nothing. We literally just had 2 chairs, a cell phone, and the whole scene was like a guy and his girlfriend are in 2 separate spaces, and they're trying to like navigate awkward phone sex, and it's very uncomfortable, very awkward. And then out of nowhere, his girlfriend hears somebody else on the other line. She's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my roommate. He's cool. He can jump in." So my buddy comes on stage, and he's like the big presence, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And so then he starts being weird and awkward, and then ultimately it just turns into like a weird like ending where it's like it's just like both dudes like standing there in their underwear, and they're like, "Okay, this is it." So it worked really great on stage. It was really funny on stage. It did really well. People knew of it. So we were like, why don't we shoot this? This would be really fun to shoot this. And this was like Funny or Die was like on its peak. Like Will Ferrell was killing it. Every celebrity was doing really funny short form content. And so we're like, let's just make something, put it on YouTube, put it on Funny or Die. Just have fun with it. Let's just start shooting some fun content that we do on stage. Then let's just make it real. So we shot this one weekend, put it together, threw it up on Funny or Die, and then like randomly, we put it up over the holidays. And when I used to go back to Ohio a lot for the holidays, I was there, and I started getting like text messages from people in my sketch group. And Pastor they're like, "Dude, you got it." Yeah. The pastor was totally on. He's like, "Oh, Chad, awkward phone sex. This is great." So I started getting blown up from people in my group, and they're like, "You got to check this out. This is incredible." And I started looking, and the numbers of views just kept going. It was like 50,000, and it's just increased. And I was like, "This is wild. Like, this is insane." So this like really kind of weird idea that we created just for the stage, and then we shot it, and then it had traction. And then it kind of just took its way. So it was a really fun experience for me because it was something that I've never thought I would ever do. I never thought like, oh, I'll just go perform on stage in Hollywood on Saturday nights, Sunday nights. I met so many cool people. It was just a really great experience. And it was just like, it was one of those times in your life you look back and you're like, man, that was a really fun thing. I'm glad I did it in my 20s because I can't do it now. I'm like, I mean, they were talking about maybe doing a fun little, like, because we all have kids now and we're all married, and like, they're like, let's just go do one more show in our 40s. And I'm like, that sounds fun. But it was just one of those things you look back and you're like, man, like, we took advantage of it. We had fun doing it, and something cool came out of it too. So yeah. So that's there's my short form story of Funny or Die.
I love that.
Is it even around anymore? I don't even know if Funny or Die is even around.
I have no clue. I will look it up after this. Speaking of meeting cool people, though, you are texting friends with somebody. I'm going to do a really bad impersonation of her.
Oh gosh, okay.
Oh wow, you look like the 4th of July. Now I want a hot dog real bad. Do you know who I'm impersonating here?
Of course I know.
I sound more like Adam Sandler, but who am I actually trying to sound like?
Oh, hey. She always does that drawn out. So we're talking about Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes.
Love Jennifer Coolidge. I worked with her. I mean, first off, we grew up watching her. I mean, like, she was so funny growing up. Everybody knows her as Stifler's mom from American Pie, and then she's been in like every Christopher Guest film. But I had a really good opportunity to work with her when I worked on a show called Two Broke Girls on CBS, and Coolidge was like a regular star on the show. And we just became friends. I mean, you become friends with these people when you work on these types of projects. And because they're just, a lot of them are just really grounded, normal people. And they just want people that are normal as well to not be like, oh, you're a celebrity. Oh, okay. So yeah, we just became really close friends. And yeah, I do text her still from time to time. I mean, she knows I have a family now. Like when she knew me, I was like single Chad. So at one point she was like trying to like hook me up and matchmake me with some of her friends. But yeah, I always remember like she's always had like a really great career, and in the sitcom world, she's great in that, but she's really fun also in theatrical film. And she had this chance to do like a Christopher Guest, I think it was like an HBO series at the time. And I was really advocate about that, of her doing that. I was like, you got to do that one. You got to do that. And I don't know if she actually ever did, but I remember kind of like just just telling it as it is. And that's the one thing I've always been, is just like, you just got to tell the truth and just be honest about things if you feel certain ways. And I remember her just being like, no one tells me these things. Like, everybody's yes men or yes women around me. And at the time too, I was telling her to do short form, because that's when my sketch group was doing like the Funny or Die stuff. And I was telling her, like, Coolidge, why aren't you doing any of this like short form stuff? Like, you would get so many views and people would love your content. And she's like, yeah, maybe I should do it. And it's funny because after we talked about it, because I haven't thought about like Two Broke Girls or anything like that in a long time. I forgot that my buddy was getting married around that time I was on that show, and I actually had Coolidge make him a video for him and his wife, because I was the best man, and so I gave it to them as like a wedding gift of like Jennifer Coolidge, really cool, acting like she was Grant's girlfriend at some point and saying good luck, like, you're now marrying my man, you can have him, kind of thing. But no, like, that's the thing, is like, you just, when it comes to these celebrities, they're just normal people, and a lot of them are. I mean, there are some that are not. I've worked with some that are not very kind or like cool, but like, she's great. But going back to like the content thing, that's always been top of mind for me, is short form. I always think short form has been, it's not going away. It's sticking around, and everybody needs to grab life by the horns when it comes to short form and just ride it. Like, that's where it's at.
Well, I have two things for Jennifer if she ends up seeing this for some reason. One is my middle school daughter, one of her best friends at school, does an absolutely amazing impersonation of Jennifer Coolidge. And when I told her that, you know her, she was like, oh, I wish I could like show her. And I was like, there's no way for you. But like,
make a video and send it to me, and then I'll
she's very good at it. And then a friend of mine dared me to do the bend and snap at a boys basketball practice last year. It's harder than it looks. I was not very good at it. It's very awkward. But Jennifer, thanks for all the inspiration and the laughs.
I know, right? Yeah, she's like, and she's everywhere now. So she's doing all these commercials, and I remember when I saw her in a commercial a couple years ago, and I texted her, and I was like, killing it. Like, you're doing a different type of short form, but now on the commercial side of it. Yeah. And she, oh, thanks, Chad. Thank you.
So your impersonation's the worst. Better than mine,
terrible.
But
mine's terrible. No, it's terrible. I'm not good with impressions.
So, okay. Let's switch into why most brand creative feels dead. I want to specifically ask, like, a lot of creative brands or e-commerce brands, they're spending millions on media, but emotionally their ads feel completely forgettable. Why are their ads forgettable emotionally?
I feel like they're not connecting with their audience, and they're not connecting with who's going to be watching this. That's the one thing when you go into the pre-production stage or the development stage of something you're creating to a mass audience, you have to think about your audience first. Okay, who's this for? And I think a lot of brands miss that mark. I think they miss where it's like, oh, let's just do a big net to everybody, because that's what we want our product to hit everybody. But that's not the case, though. Not everybody needs a pair of reading glasses. Not everybody needs a mountain bike. Like, it just depends on who your demo is. And I think that's the first thing that brands, they always miss the mark on that. That's a big one for me.
Well, yeah, because knowing who that is allows you to be more relevant to that audience, which, like, my next question was literally about that. What's the difference between just a normal high-performing ad, and we have ads, they do really good a job at getting people to click and buy, versus one that's just culturally resonant, but I would say more than culturally resonant, like demographically resonant, right? Like it is for that audience. Like, what's the difference between something that just converts versus something that it's like, this is going to be impactful?
I think it comes down to like we talked about this before, but like social media versus like now turning into interest media. Mm-hmm. And I think once again, it's the social's it's your broad net. Interest is like, these are the people that are following your brand. It's because they like you. They are following what you're selling. They're all about it. And I mean, you do a great job with this, Will. Like, and I applaud you that as a CEO, you're taking advantage of social. You're on LinkedIn. You're making this great podcast. You're doing all this stuff to get out there, and you have interest media because the people that are following you are interested in your content.
Right.
So I think that breaks down to also on the brand level too. I think they just really need to start honing in more on that, because they could make the greatest commercial of all time or the greatest content piece. but it's not going to move the needle on sales because it's not hitting the right demo. It's not hitting the right people. So people will be like, oh, that's a cool piece right there. But I don't want that product. I don't need that product every day. So yeah, I think that's what it bears down to.
A lot of brands default to humor. I know that I do. It seems to be like the easy emotion to go after. It's safe. It's shareable. When do you lean into like awe or nostalgia, aspiration, tension, melancholy? Like, when do you lean into those for brands instead of just humor?
Once again, it's about the product. I think it's about what you're trying to sell. I think we talked about this before, where it's like higher end items, like a stove, for example. Like we were talking, I think you mentioned like what was it, $8,000 stove?
Yeah,
like how do you market
stoves.
that?
Yes, that's one of our customers, right? Yeah.
So that stove that's a certain demo that would buy that stove, but at the same time, it's nostalgia because family dinner. Who are you cooking for? Mom maybe always wanted to be a chef or go to like culinary school, but she couldn't because she had kids young. But now here's her chance because the kids are older. She wants that stove, and she wants
I got goosebumps.
To bring. Do you know what I'm saying? She wants to bring that home to her since she can't go do it now at her age. So I think it comes down to personal. It's always personal, and I think that's the number one thing that you need to hit hard on with especially the $8,000 types of stoves. But and also too is style too. Like I think the style is a number one selling point as well. Like you want it to be beautiful. You want it to be I think we mentioned this Wes Anderson style. Yeah. Wes Anderson's a fantastic director. He has a very unique style. He's the only one that can pull it off. But if you have a product that's an $8,000 stove, you can shoot a style like that, and people will be like, "Oh, nostalgia! I love Wes Anderson, and I love this commercial. This is cool. I will remember this. I will always remember this commercial right here." Yeah.
For the e-commerce founders who don't know what Wes Anderson's style is, how would you sum it up so that way they're like, okay, I get where you're going with this?
It's like a picture. It's like a beautiful picture that's brought into a film. It's like it's like this great setup where you're like everything is placed perfectly behind the actors, and it's also continuous shots too. So it's like walking into one picture into another picture into another picture. Like it just everything has its purpose in the shots because he's a photographer. So everything he shoots, he's thinking as a photographer's eye. But he's also an artist. I mean, when you watch his early stuff like Bottle Rocket, it's very just a regular type of film, but his style has increased as his movies are now. I mean, it's so stylized where you're like, that's Wes Anderson. There's no, because it's so perfect. I mean, it's just a perfect, unique style. Yeah.
Yeah. And that stands out. I think if you're doing something on social media, even as an ad, something that stands out like that is what captures that attention. It gets the thumb stop rate. Now somebody's actually willing to click onto it, so it's a lot more effective. Yeah, the other piece 100%. To this that I really like then is the storytelling aspect of it. And so for every one of these emotions that we're doing, storytelling ends up being the thing that drives this. What are the universal ingredients of a story that actually change behavior?
Wow, that's an interesting question. It's really good. I mean, I think authenticity and truth behind the story. It all goes back to spinning the wheels of just thinking outside of the box when it comes to that type of product and just making you want your audience to feel like they've never seen something like this before. You want it to be groundbreaking, and you want it to be like I love when I watch a commercial and I start like feeling the little bubbles inside my stomach starts churning because I'm like, oh my gosh, like why did that 30-second commercial about healthcare just make me want to start crying? And I think those are the ones that really. I think it comes down to the creators too, because the creators are bringing their personal story sometimes into these brands. And I think that also helps too. So if you have a person that's leading the charge that is very story driven and they're just like, we don't need all the lights and sounds. Like, let's just get down to the truth of it. Especially with AI nowadays, man, it's cool for some things, but then it can destroy others. And what I mean that is like, especially with storytelling. You can give it. I mean, it can't have our human emotions. It doesn't feel that. It doesn't know that. You can send it to them, and you can be like, "Hey, I want a sad story," but the story will not be like a human would feel. It's going to be very just whatever's searchable, whatever's online, whatever AI can take to make that feel like it's a sad story. So I think that a lot of the AI, they call it AI slop, is happening more and more as you're seeing a lot of content, especially on the content side of things. I'm seeing a very repetitive type of storytelling because people are just kind of getting a little lazy, and they're like, oh, let me just throw this into Claude and let me just have it spit something out, and then okay, this looks good enough. Let's try this out. You can't take the human aspect away from that, especially storytelling. That's
I think a lot of it is people are also like the prompts that they're using in AI are not good enough. Because there's a big difference between saying, I want a sad commercial versus I want one with melancholy, one that's bittersweet, one that's solemn, right? Like there's so many different ways that you can bring sadness or sadness adjacent into this that might have a significantly different effect. A sad commercial might not work, but a solemn one does.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too. I'm just really seeing the same stuff. It's really crazy. Like within the past, it's been honestly, I think 3 months now, I've been seeing like people, the way they say things. I'm like, that's so AI right there. The way you're like, it's like they say like this hook that everybody's using the same hook. And then it's always the same call to action. And it just is like,
that's true.
It's so cringe, man. I mean, it's rough. They use the word cringe a lot too. Like that's the other word too.
You know what? It also uses M dashes, and this is my one little rant on that. I'm a big fan of the M dash. I used it all the time before, and now that AI does it, I had to change, and I'm like, no, I don't.
Is that the little dash? Is that the little dash? It's the
like longer one though. It's like the long.
Okay, I do the little one. I've always done the little dash when I talk because that's just the way I talk.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. You see that all the time in people's captions. Those big old lines, and you know automatically, oh, that's AI. It's all AI right there.
You think, but I used to use them, and now I have to stop using them.
So what are you using now? Are you have a new little?
I will tell you, I use ... in place of it now.
There you go.
So because I'm like, I still want to like this pause, but it's not a comma, right? But I'm like, I can't use an M dash anymore, so I do ... So in ellipsis.
I do plus sign. I always do a plus sign in the beginning of sentences and sometimes in the middle of them.
Yep.
So if AI starts using plus signs, I'm done. I can't even. I'll stop writing. I can't do it.
Chad, do you think consumers buy products or identities?
I think identities is ultimately, I think it because through the storytelling, they might use the product and it might be their thing for a little small amount of time, but they bought it because of what they remember. I think that's a big part of it is stories of, I mean, like for example, like this is my grandfather. He died at a young age, and I only knew him until I was like 10. But he was a very impactful person in my life because he was very theatrical, musical type of guy, which kind of fell onto me. And we would go fishing, so that was our thing. We'd always go fishing. And recently, I started looking into hooks and fishing poles for my son and stuff like that. But I'm not buying it for the product, like you were saying. I'm buying it for that memory of me and my grandfather going fishing. And now I'm passing it down to my son with my dad coming out and us going on a little fishing trip. But I think that's kind of how it relates. And I think people do purchase things because of nostalgia and also not so much the product. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's even like the stove that you were talking about, like this lady who's like, I want to buy this because not because I need a stove. Sure, I need a stove, but it's like, I want this story of who I am. I am this chef. I'm the sous chef. I'm the whatever kind of thing.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, because they're losing a little bit of their identity, I think, too. Like, unfortunately, because that's how life just comes hard and comes at you fast. So the dreams, as you get older, your dreams start to just deteriorate and they just start not existing because of life. And
you're
it's
so
sad.
right. Yeah,
I know. Like, but at times though, I'm like, the dream chasing is cool. As you know, I've done the dream chasing, but at times I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done the dream chasing. Maybe I should just got a normal thing, normal job, college, that whole thing. Because you got to be really invincible, and you got to be. Man, you got to not be able to take criticism, and you got to be able to pick up. I mean, as entrepreneurs, as we both are, it's not the easiest road. You have to be the most creative, and you have to be the best in your class.
A big thing you've been pushing lately is founder-led content. And I think a lot about, there's a couple of people that were on my podcast recently that do this very well. Sam Nebel at Good Wipes. He's out there doing hilarious things. Like I think I saw him the other day on Instagram. He's just out there with a group of buddies walking on like the path. They're just shouting poop. Like these are 40-year-old men just going poop, poop or whatever.
I love that.
Okay, why? Right? That's funny, but it's for wipes. And then Brandy Dugal, she was on just recently, but it's the fidget game. It's like this education stuff that's really helping to make education a lot more enjoyable for kids. And she's doing incredible videos for her brand. And so I'm seeing more and more of this. Why are you passionate about founder-led content?
I think it's what makes the brand relatable for the consumer. Also for the employees that work for that brand. It's so huge to see your CEO or founder have so much passion and to get on the stage. And when I say stage, I'm saying platforms, commercial aspects, get on the stage and talk about the struggles of what you've done and what you've built. And I think we need more CEOs and founders to get out there and share their stories. Because I've talked to a buddy of mine who runs a men's hair salon. He has I think 15 franchises of that now, and he's growing. And he was like, and he's doing great because he has he's 2 podcasts. He loves social. He's all about it. He lets his employees do social. They do videos. Nice. All his hairstylists and everything. They're making original content. And he also got into the UGC program recently, where he's having people that are coming in and getting their haircut. They're also talking on their socials about his brand. But he was talking to me and he was like, yeah, like I love doing this because that's just who I am. But he's like, I have so many buddies, because he has a podcast very similar to yours where he brings in CEOs and all that. He's like, they don't ever want to do this. He's like, they never want to sit down with me and tell their story. And he's like, why is that? And when I thought about it, I was like, honestly, I think it might just come. There's a couple of reasons, but I think one, just people don't feel comfortable on camera, and they also are very nervous. They don't have the confidence. But the fact is that they could build this huge brand. They have confidence in themselves to do something. And this is it really, when you get down to it, this is very easy. It's very easy to turn on a camera, start talking to the camera, and just kind of see where it goes. So I think that. But on the other side of it too, I think a lot of them have the ego gets in the way. Where it's like, I don't want people to know my story because I don't want them to hear about the struggle. I just want them to know about the success of the brand or of where we are now. But I think you got to leave ego at the door when you're an owner and a CEO. You got to just leave it there, and because ultimately everybody wants to hear people's stories. I mean, right now, Will, we're talking. You're hearing my story. Right. And if this story impacts somebody out there who's like, oh man, I've always wanted to go to Hollywood, and now you know what? Maybe I will take a chance. That's awesome, because that's the whole purpose of telling your stories. So you can impact other people, especially when it comes to the brand level. Like when you have a brand and your customers and your consumers are hearing your story, that will even boost them up to purchase your products even more, because they know where it comes from. They know what they're using, where it physically comes from originally. So yeah, it's very important. I'm very heavy on founders and CEOs. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is helping CEOs and founders with their personal branding, with learning how to shoot content and learning how to produce themselves. Because sure, you can shoot content all day. It might not be good, but if you have the right people helping and producing you, you could turn that thing into the next level. Because certain people do have it. Will, you have it. You're at the top tier. Like you have, like, you don't need to produce, you have somebody to produce you. You already know what you're doing. But then you have the middle ground where it's like, yeah, they're not bad. They could use a little more of an oomph and pump. And then you have the literally the more percentage of the people who just don't post ever. Maybe they post once a year or twice a year as a CEO or founder. Those are the people that really need to kind of just take a look and be like, yeah, I need to boost this up a little bit more.
We're so scared. Like you said, the ego part of this gets in the way. And I was nervous when I first started doing my podcast too. And so I'll just share that for any other CEO here. In order to get over my nervousness of being on here, I came up with a bunch of really stupid things that people were allowed to dare me to do on the podcast, because it became like more of a game. And so if you've ever seen Impractical Jokers, I did some really dumb things on here. I had a chicken on here one time. I picked my nose on with the CMO of Eddie Bauer. A couple of my more recent favorites. I had a buddy of mine come over and deliver a dish of pasta, and like shred cheese on it. Like it was like the Olive Garden. I had somebody dare me to do a bunch of Wedding Crashers quotes, Mean Girls quotes, right? And so it's like, I've got to sneak these into this podcast. And so, but that got me over the nerves because I was like, okay, I've got something to do. I don't do this nearly as much anymore because I don't feel nervous doing podcasts anymore, but it's like, figure out what that is that you can get over it. And to your point, don't be afraid to share the details that you think are not the successful parts of it, because more often than not, that's what people relate to. And that is actually the part that they want. They need to see that piece of it in order to understand the success.
Yes, 100%. I mean, for you, Will, though, like, what was the turning point? Like, where was it like, I need to do this? Like, where did that start for you? Because a lot of people don't even think of the idea of starting a podcast as a CEO. Their buddies talk about it, but they're like, I don't really know. Like, why are you actually doing this? That's what I'm like, because there's a reason. There's a reason you're doing this.
That's a good question. It's hard because this is like 3 years ago now. So I got to think about what I was actually thinking versus what I'm telling myself I thought at the time, right? If I can try to remember at the time, I told myself that it gave me the ability to refine my knowledge and wisdom within the space, first and foremost, because I was going to have a lot of guests on here that were doing things that, like, I was getting to the point where I was not in the weeds as much as I used to be, right? So I hired a lot of people on the team, and so I'm not as deep. I wanted to have these other founders, these other people telling me what's relevant now in case I'm missing something that it's like I'm not stuck in my way. So that was part one. Part two was I really like people. I just kind of wanted that interaction of like getting to know other really awesome people. Like, this has become my favorite thing that I do, because I am extroverted, and I'm just like, man, I have met some amazing people, and I've had really good, deep conversations with them. That was part two. Part three was, it was training for my employees, and you kind of called this out a little bit as well. I now am recording something about like how to make absolutely amazing, unforgettable ad content with you. I've done SEO stuff. I've done all of these other topics to where I can tell whenever I have a new employee versus me having to train each one individually, I can say, you can actually go and watch a lot of the content. You can actually upload this and learn from it without actually having to read all of it if you want, or watch it all. And then I'd say part four was, it became, I think you called it, what was it, interest something content or whatever, but it's like... Yeah,
interest media.
Interest media. Like, the thing that I like about this is we also had people who would sometimes come to us and want to work with us, but didn't buy into the way that we actually do ads. And so I'm like, if I can do this at first, I'm like, this is how we do it. If you want to do it a different way, go find an agency that does it that way. But this is how we think about things. And so now if people come to me, if they come to me from the podcast, and I'm like, you already understand a little bit more about how I think about advertising, how our team thinks about advertising. So now if you work with us, it's like, you already know what you're signing up for.
That's all, dude. That's really good. I love the one thing you said about like your team can go watch these back. That's the great thing about social media. This stuff lives forever. Yeah. Like, that's why we'll always have that. That's the cool thing about like our kids' generation is they can always go look back and see their parents when they were younger. They can, I mean, how crazy is that?
Unfortunately, too.
It's terrifying that they can see stuff like awkward phone sex at some point. But like, that's the thing. Is
Grandpa, is that you?
Is that you? What are you doing? Like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But that's also the cool thing about it. Yeah. And also too, when it comes to the brand level, this content lives forever for them. So they can always repurpose this stuff. It's not like you shoot a Super Bowl commercial and then you'll never see it again. Like, you can always just resurface that stuff and always keep it going. I love that stuff. I love when people are repurposing all their content over and over again.
Completely agree. Chad, I want to actually show a couple of examples that you've sent over to me of some ads that we could talk about. What makes this a good ad? We've talked a lot about like the whys and the whats and the whatever. Like, let's actually show some people. And let's just go through.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I like this.
Okay. Let me know if you can't hear
Once I danced upon your chest, covered your pecs, I did my best.
I was your scruff, your loyal friend, sworn to protect your dimpled chin.
But with Manscaped, that met my demise when you chopped me from between your eyes.
And that awkward part of your tries.
Although we make these small,
I haven't seen this before.
Forget your face, your chest, or your ball.
Manscaped.
That's so good.
Dude.
Wait, hold on. I gotta pause that. That's
so good. Right, it's incredible, and that was actually that was a Super Bowl ad. So that was the one I was mentioning earlier. But it just starts off where it's just like it hits you and it's funny, and you're just like, oh my gosh, where's this going? It's also weird, but weird commercials are amazing. I love weird commercials. Anytime there's like a weird Sasquatch or like a creature, like I'm just like, oh, what's going on here? What are we looking at here? But everybody's lived this, every scene everybody's been in. Everybody has been shaving their face, their body, whatever, trying to get ready for the pool. And so they're just so I'm like, this is so relatable. And that's once again, going back to, you got to be relatable to who your audience is. And everybody that's buying Manscaped has experienced this before. So that I love it. It's like one of my favorite commercials. It's so funny and it's so random. But and then the flush where it's just like, because that's where everybody flushes their hair down. Everybody, because you don't want to put it down the sinks because then
you can't do anything else with it, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that commercial is like one of my favorites. And also too, kind of talking about Manscaped, is they do such a good job with UGC. I did a thing with them 2 years ago where they sent me a package and I did the whole unboxing and I tested out theirs. They sent me like 3 pieces of razors. It was like a body one, a face one, and something else. Nice. And I still have them to this day. They gave me a t-shirt. And so, and it's like a thing. I mean, they sent like a 25-page packet on how to do the UGC, hashtags, where to post, where to upload, a lot of communication back and forth with them. But they knocked it out of the park when it came. That was like the best UGC I've ever seen is through a company like them. But once again, they're not only doing the big stuff like the Super Bowl commercials, but they're also doing the social pages where they're having their customers work for them also. Like, I mean, they're having people that are just regular Joes and regular people that have a little bit of a following. And now they're spokespersons on social. Genius. So great. I love it.
You need both, right? And I think that I see a lot of D2C brands that will get behind the social aspect of things. But what I do see a lot of brands that struggle to get behind this, like this elevated creative, like what we just saw in that Manscaped commercial. And I think that that's what gives the weight to all the other stuff. The way that I look at this is you need that anchor piece of content, that hero content, to get people excited about it. And that might not be the thing that makes them take the move, but they see that, they laugh, they share it. I'm not buying it yet, but now I see, 1,000 people post this, and you're like, that's it. I got to do it. I'm buying it.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. You have to dabble in both worlds.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're going to die as a brand. Honestly.
100%. All right. This one, Peloton.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Now.
A Peloton? Give it up for our first time ride.
All right, first ride. I'm a little nervous, but excited. Let's do this. 5 days in a row. You surprised? I am. 6 a.m. Yay.
Rising with the sun.
That was totally worth it.
Let's go race in Boston.
I got goosebumps.
A year ago, I didn't realize how much this would change me.
It's so good.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Okay. So this one is this one's it's an interesting one for me. Okay. Because you can see that's the same actress right there.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
So the story behind this Peloton commercial came out during the holidays. It was before the pandemic. So Peloton wasn't like, because they killed during the pandemic, Peloton did. This came out in like 2019, the holiday season. And it actually went viral for the wrong reasons. So
really,
commercial. It did.
I liked that commercial. I got goosebumps.
I know. So super cute commercial. Like it's great for the holidays. But everybody online started being like, wait, why does she look so terrified? Why is she so nervous? Why is her husband having her document this? Why are they watching this back? What's the husband doing to her?
I didn't even catch that.
And there's like, so the one photo of her where she's like looking over her shoulder on the bike with their phone, like that image went viral. Like everybody's like, help her. She needs help. She's scared. She's nervous. No. So it went viral. It blew up. Everybody was talking about it. So this next commercial, this one right here, this is Ryan Reynolds' gin company, okay? Yep. Aviation gin. And he is, first off, he's an amazing marketer. If he wasn't an actor, he would be the best CMO there ever has and ever will be. But he knows how to take brands to the next level. So he jumped on the wave of that viral success that Peloton was having for, once again, the wrong reason. Yeah. And then he hired the same actress and was piggybacking on this. So to play this one now.
All right, hold on. Before we do, I do have to come back to that. I missed that. I remember that now that you're saying it, but I remember this part of it, like the second one. I don't remember the original ad that it came from, the Peloton
No one remembers the original ad though, which is the funny part.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. Okay, here we go.
Gin is really smooth.
Yeah.
We can get you another one if you like. You're safe here. To new beginnings.
To new beginnings.
That's so brutal.
Here we go. It's gonna be a fun night. Here you go. Take this too.
Oh.
You look great, by the way.
That's so
good, right?
So brutal.
So yeah. No, what were you gonna say, Will?
Well, I want to say first of all, like, this is a disclaimer. Yeah. Like, as much as I don't want to say anything about Aviation Gin, this is me personally. There are zero stories I know of somebody saying alcohol changed my life for the better. A lot of off stories on the other side of that, so I don't condone that. But okay, go ahead.
Yes, I don't drink, by the way, just so everybody knows. So going back to Aviation Gin, that commercial did so well.
So good.
And I remember hearing Ryan Reynolds talk about that, because they were like, how did you pull that off? Was she under contract? And he was like, we had her on set and she was like she was trying to quit like 5 times while we were trying to film this thing, because she was so nervous that Peloton would come after her and all this stuff. And he said she was a trooper. She did it. And they shot this like a week after. I mean, it was like they jumped on it. They were like, this is viral. We got to jump on this opportunity, because it's a small window when you have these viral hits happen. Shot with her. They did it. They dropped the commercial and it did so well. I mean, literally the next year, Ryan Reynolds sold. He's still a part of the company, but he sold for like $600 million. Wow. So like, because of his genius marketing brain, how it works, that's a great ad right there. And it really did. And also too, he did mention like Peloton loved it. They thought it was great for them too. Apparently they sent him a Peloton bike.
Nice.
So they were cool with it. They were like, this is great for our brand because you're helping us out. That's the same actress we use, whatever. It's great. So yeah, I mean,
it increased their visibility, because everybody's saying, wait a minute, what? And it's like that resurgence now of the original commercial again. So it's just good exposure for them.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's why I love those two, because it's just two different brands, but they're telling the same story in the continuation of the story. So yeah, I love that one.
All right, we got 2 more.
Oh. You feel that?
Feel what?
The crash zone.
Crash what?
The crash zone. It heightens tension. Builds suspense. Uncovers evidence.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Foreshadows danger. Do you feel it now?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'll go and try and find a ladder.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think we all know why I like this one. It's a great. I mean, Apple's great. I have every product I have is Apple, honestly.
Same.
And yeah, I mean, I live, sleep, everything they drop. I'm like, yep, gotta get it.
Vision Pro day of. I'm right there with you, man.
Seriously, right? And they've done this before. They've shot a commercial with the iPhone. But this one is like just to another level. I mean, that looks cinematic. That is something where they're taking a product that they make and they're like, let's just show you what it does. And
fantastic. Low light amazing, and everything.
Right?
Yeah.
It's incredible. And so and I love that we live in that era where in that generation of like, you can just have a cell phone, pull it out and just shoot the best content ever. I mean, I remember 15 years ago when we were trying to shoot stuff. I had a big camera. We were like, I'm lugging this camera around, or and I'm like uploading cards, and I'm like doing like mini DVs, and now it's just like you can pull out your cell phone, and so it's so easy nowadays, and I don't know why people aren't doing it more. Like that's the thing that it baffles me that we have this technology. Like it's awesome. So that I love that commercial just because of the tech side of things. Like I think it's incredible. Yeah.
Apparently we're gonna have to watch a commercial because I don't have YouTube Premium or whatever. So we give me a second. All right, here we go.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it. Here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth. That is so good.
Oh, I can't.
That's a big bite for a big arch.
I can't.
It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness.
Can I keep going?
But those crispy
you can
onions
stop.
Well,
you can stop.
Nice
I think we all get why.
Like, that was the main part. Right.
Yes. This is bad PR. This is a move where his team, everybody should have been like, we got to redo this. We got to, like, that's coming back to what I was saying is, like, I don't know why so many teams are so scared to talk to their CEOs or their bosses of like, hey, let's not do that. Or maybe we should just shoot that again. That was so uncomfortable.
It was.
It's like he's never eaten a burger before. It's like, what? Like, it's like he doesn't eat those ever. He doesn't eat those.
No.
He didn't even know what was in it. Like, he was just like, it was like he's finding out the ingredients for the very first time. It was incredible. It was like blown away. Like, oh man, look at this thing. This thing is big. Look at this. Wow. And even the way he held the burger, it's like he's never even held a burger before. Everything about that was just awkward. It was so uncomfortable and awkward. Yes, that was, and honestly, and that's another great idea, commercial idea, or like social content that went viral for the wrong reasons, and then everybody piggybacked on it. Like Burger King jumped on it, Wendy's jumped on it, and they did a funny job on it. They did great. There was influencers that jumped on that, and they blew up with their content. So yeah, I think that we all know why I picked that one. Like, that's rough.
So Brandy Dugal, who I mentioned before, one of the things that she said that I really appreciated in her episode was, even before she records content as a CEO for her brand, she spends time basically meditating and thinking about what is the intent that she actually wants to do. Like, even to the point where she's like, I want this game to be really beneficial for these children. So it's like almost more or less like prayers of like, I am praying for like these children who are going to see this, that this is going to be beneficial for them, that they are going to learn more. And so it's like, so now when she records the content, she's already like thought through like who is going to be seeing this and why and how it's benefiting them. And that intent shows in the video. And his intent in this, I don't know what it was. It didn't feel like his intent was like, I desire this burger and I can't wait for how much this burger is going to improve your life. The intent was, we've got this thing. The social media intern asked me to record a video. I don't really know what I'm doing, and so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And it's like the intent was missing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think he literally showed up that day, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to shoot you eating a burger." And he's like, "Oh, okay."
I didn't dress for this. Yeah.
Which burger which one are we going to try today? Like, no, yeah. I think that well, that's the thing with when it comes to content. It's not like you can just go and just throw up a camera and start shooting. You have to really think out what you're creating here. And I'm all about the pre-pro stage. I think that's the most important stage, because it gets it's first off, who's your audience for this? What kind of content are you going to get across for this? Like, what's the selling? What's the call to action? What are you trying to deliver for this type of social or commercial based? Yeah, he dropped the ball, but that was really bad.
It was very funny.
Very funny. Yes, it was.
I want to get to know who is Chadwick Wilson. I like to get to know the human being behind all of the wisdom that you've shared here today. You went from a very conservative church upbringing to Hollywood, and now you've talked to me about kind of rediscovering your faith through family and fatherhood. What's changed?
I mean, honestly, I would say my identity. So when I met my wife, I knew she was gonna be my wife. I met her out one night and actually in the Valley, and we just immediate. It was just like,
that's so cool.
It's like, I love you. It's over. Like, we were dancing. We like, yeah, it was like we did karaoke that night. I mean, that. we actually have it on DVD. It's the craziest thing. I have the first moments with my wife on DVD.
That's really special.
It's incredible. And it's this little, it's called Dimples. It's like this little karaoke. It's now gone. It's now a Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. And actually the bar that we first met at, now that's at Gelson's, which is another, so every place we've ever hung out at when we first met, it's now a grocery store. So that's weird. Strange.
Yeah.
But I remember when I met her, it was like instantly like, okay, I'm in love. This is who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And then we got married. Then we got pregnant really quickly. And then we had our son. And so from that, it was also kind of like, it was kind of an identity thing for me. Like, I was now a husband. Then I was now a father. Mm-hmm. I'm still like a producer. I'm still like in my day-to-day job. I'm still working, and now I'm a provider. And so it in the beginning, it was really difficult for me. I didn't know if I was doing it right. I didn't know what it was. And it was scary. But then as you just learn through life and you just go through and you start experiencing all these great experiences, it really changed me. And family is very important to me. My wife and my son are the most important things in my life, and I love spending every second with them. I was the only child. My son's the only child, so it's like we were very close. Like, it's like he doesn't have any siblings. This is it. But I will say though that's when things started to, because I was just like this guy in LA who was just a single guy, just enjoying life, going around doing the Hollywood thing. And and then honestly, it all just like that all changed. But it changed for the better. It was unbelievable. Cause I don't know where I'd be now if I didn't have my wife. Like, I've actually stopped drinking. I don't drink alcohol. I have a clean life. I'm very healthy. I run every day. Very spiritual. I think I'm more spiritual in my adult life than I was in my growing up, or how we grew up. Like, wow. We went to church like 4 times a week, I think. Like, yeah, there was like multiple services, and like, my kids don't understand.
Yeah, we went twice on Sunday. I remember being like visitation on Tuesday, Wednesday night youth group. There's like a Friday night something sometimes, right?
Something basketball. There was a basketball league we played in. Saturdays it was like So with that, growing up around that, I got away from that. Like, I mean, it was like the Bible throwing. I mean, it's Baptist, man. I mean, that's crazy when you think about it now. And I always remember though, growing up, I was like, can we go to another church? I was always asking my parents, can we, like, because there was other churches around us that was a little bit more like non-denominational, a little bit more conservative. I mean, dude, they like, I think, wasn't your brother like the first drummer ever for the church? Like,
yes. Like, they never had drums were not allowed up there for a while. Yes.
Yeah. And then Mike went up there and he's just like, just like one tap. It's just like literally just one tap.
Yeah.
Dude, it was just like, it was not like drumming, like real band stuff. Like, but I remember like when I was a kid, I was always asking like, why can we try something else out? Because I just don't feel like this is where I should be. And we never did. I mean, I did jump from church to church sometimes, but like I was always at our church where we were raised. And then coming out to LA, there's so many good churches out here that are so in line with just the way we live our life. And yeah, like I love my faith now and where I'm at. And I think that's honestly the most important thing in my life besides my family. I think it's definitely the things that keeps me grounded. It keeps me in line. Because I think when you have a higher power, I think it keeps you grounded. I think if you live life with no authority, I think you're gonna fall. Like you're gonna stumble. So yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I think there has to be something more.
Mm-hmm.
You met your wife doing karaoke, and you have the DVD. So I was gonna say, do you remember the song? You probably remember the song. What was the song that you picked out?
It's so like so it was Summer Loving for Grace.
Oh yeah.
So
great.
It was hilarious, dude. It was so, and it's funny because, so obviously I was drinking that night. That night I was like, man, she's a really great singer. Like, oh my gosh, she's incredible. My wife's a terrible singer. Like, she can't hold it. Like, she cannot sing. But that night, she was the best singer I've ever heard in my entire life.
Sure.
Like, it was the most magical moment.
That
ever.
Dopamine was kicking in and everything was magical.
Incredible. Yeah. So much fun. Oh, time of our lives. Like, yeah.
That's cool.
So much fun.
You talked about running is like your new passion. Speaking of dopamine, you said that's kind of like your dopamine kick right now. What got you into running?
So I got into running, I think around, well, I mean, I would run from time to time, but it was nothing like consistent. So I started running 4 years ago, and I just signed up for just like some random race out here in LA. It was actually it's called Space Rock. So it's actually where they used to shoot a lot of the Star Trek, like the original Star Treks, where it looked like all these cool rocks like on another planet. So they do a race every year, and I was like, that's a really fun one. I should do that. Like, let me sign up for a 10K. Let me just, and at this time I was so out of shape. I mean, I looked awful. Like I was carrying a lot of weight baggage, let's say. And when you're running this kind of trail running, you got to be somewhat in shape. You got to know what you're doing. So I did it, and I didn't really train for it. And it showed I didn't train for it. I did very bad. I think I started walking, I think mile 3. So from mile 3 all the way to 6.2, I was just walking. I also fell because there's rocks. Like I said, it's like a rocky canyon. I had blood coming down one of my knees. I was cramping. Literally, I crossed the finish line, and I was like, my wife's there, and my son's running up to me like I'm some superhero. And I'm like, I need a banana. I need water. I can't feel my leg. Like I was like freaking out. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So that happened, and I was like, that's so embarrassing because you get the videos and all the pictures. And I'm like, that's not cool. Like that's terrible. Like I cannot do that. So from that point, I just started running consistently. I started losing weight, started getting healthier, started eating healthier. And I did that race again. I was like, I want to do this race again, but do it the right way. And so I just did it last year. I did it again 4 years later and crushed it. I didn't stop. I finished strong. I didn't fall. Like I didn't come with bloody knees or anything like that. So that was a big, thanks. It was like crazy. So like, but it was cool to look back and just be like, wow, because sometimes you have to push yourself. Sometimes you think you're ready for something and you're really not. And then when you do it, you're like, wow, I was not prepared for that at all. But then you retrain yourself, you get into that motion and get into that routine, then you change your life. And then you just immediately now, oh, I am ready for this. And I think that's a big part of life in general, not just for like running, but I think in everything, every aspect. But yeah, no, running is my thing. It's my dopamine. It gets my day. Like I'm a very routine type of person. Like wake up, cup of coffee, put my face into an ice little bath. Just to get a big shock. I do a shake, then I do my run, then I come back, then I start answering calls, doing my day-to-day job stuff. Very routine. And so if I break routine, my day it's weird. It's shot.
I'm the same way. You're probably ADHD, right?
ADHD and also more OCD.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely ADHD, and I found that it's like I can actually do well off of my meds as long as I'm very routine. But if I break that routine, I'm like I go on vacation, I'm like, now I got to take meds. Like I'm all over the place.
I can't even go to Disneyland, dude. When we go to Disneyland, my wife's like, oh my god, are you okay? Like, so we have to like do a thing. Like I can't even go like an hour away. Like it's incredible, like and how it kicks in immediately. Yeah. Routine is everything for us. Yeah.
Are there any quotes that you live by?
I don't do quotes. I don't. Okay. I was thinking you're gonna ask this question. I do not do quotes, but I do have like a Bible verse that I've always lived by. It was like Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understandings, and then all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Kind of always lived my life like that. Especially as I've gotten older, but that was like kind of my verse when I was growing up. My parents got me this little gold ring. It's like, I think they said it was a purity ring, but inside of it was engraved with that verse. And that was always just a verse that I just always knew. And it was always like, and then at that time it was like, I just knew it. I just like, oh, I'm just going to say it. I get it. But as I got older, I understood what it means and how there is a path for you. And if you just stick on that path that he's directed you, you're going to do fine. And obviously I've fallen off the path a lot of times, but if I get back on, it, I feel better. I'm happier. I'm all the things that I should be just because I'm following that path.
It reminds me of the Spanish saber versus conocer, right? And so like saber means like to know, like intellectually know, but conocer means, to know it. And it's like, you're so right. Like there's a lot of verses that I do have that I've memorized that I'm only now getting in my 40s. I'm like, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? It's like, I get it now, right? Fatherhood, though. What do you want? What do you want your legacy to be to your son when he gets to be your age? What do you want him to say about you?
I just want him to always know that I'm always there. or I was always there, and we did everything we could to give him the best life, and also just the love is always here for him. Like recently, he got into a little fight at school, and it was a big thing. He was crying. It was upsetting for him. He was his best friend, and so we had to get into parent mode, and it was like, but also not just parent mode, but friend mode of like, hey, how are you feeling? What's going on? Like, what do you need? Because sometimes the kids at this age, and my son's 10, they have way more access to the world than we ever have.
Totally.
Like iPads, computer in the room, TV, Xbox, and they're talking to their friends around the clock, and they're actually seeing their friends as they're talking to them. And it's multiple friends. They're doing like this group chat of like 10 people. And that's really scary. I'm not a big fan of it. We're kind of locking down on it a little bit, but like the access that he gets. And so raising like type of kids our age in this generation, we have to go a different approach than how we were raised, because it's not possible to raise your kids the way we were raised. We had like a phone that was like a cord, and everybody could hear it. The person who you're talking to, they could just jump on the line and be like, hey, who are you talking to? Who is this? Hang up the phone. I'm like, okay, bye. Like now it's like, I don't know who he's talking to. I know it's his friends from school, but like, it's like, who's this person now? Oh, it's a friend of this friend. Okay. Because they're gaming across the country. So it's a whole thing. But like, I would say the thing I want him to always know is my dad always worked hard, and he taught me how to work hard. He also taught me how to love other people and how to treat people kindly. That's like the big thing that I'm like, it doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't matter if the person washes your car. It doesn't matter if the person is running this type of business or whatever. It doesn't matter what their occupation is, who they are, what they do. You love everybody. Like that's as a normal person. Like they're all normal. Everybody's normal. Everybody's exactly the same. They all come from the same place. So it's like I look at it like kindness is super crucial, and just be fair to everybody else as well. Like I think that's the big thing. I just hope he can understand. And also too is like we do like we were literally doing a parenting lesson yesterday of like just like with that whole fight thing, and it was we sat with him after and was just like, hey, do you understand why we're doing this? We care about you. There's some parents that are not around that can't tell you these things together in the same room because their family's not together. It's a broken home. And so I'm like, you understand this, right? Like we do this because we love you and because we care about you, not because like, oh, you're just going to be a parent today. Like, no, this is like coming from a side of love, but also we want to be your friend at the same time and your parent. So I think if he can look back at me as like a friend and a parent, that's all that really matters.
It's a beautiful legacy, and that intentional parenting is so hard. I've got a 16-year-old, 13-year-old, and 10-year-old, and so I can say that it is very hard. And even at 16, you think you're like, I don't like, you don't have to parent them as much, right? It's like, no, you still have to parent them probably even more, because the problems they have to deal with then are complex, and it's like it's hours of talking through things and working through things, and you have to be an intentional parent the whole time.
Yeah. It's all seasons. Like every year is a new season. It's like, oh, that thing is gone. That used to be like, oh, changing his diaper. That's gone now. Now he's potty trained, so that's our new thing we're focused on. But now, okay, now he's going to school. Now he's dealing with this at school. Now it's always something new. Like, I mean, we'll be parents until our kids are 60s. Like, and we're always just going to be parents. I mean, my parents are still parents across the country, and I'm 40. So it's like, it just, you never stop parenting. It's just a different season every time.
You like DC Comics, so I'm playing one little game here with you.
Yes.
Batman or Superman?
Oh, Batman, 100%. As you can see, I got Batman stuff behind me right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do. Okay.
Yeah. Huge.
Joker or Lex Luthor? I mean, I think I already know now where you're going.
Joker. Yeah. Joker. Yeah.
Christian Bale or Michael Keaton?
Oh, I'm gonna have to add in Ben Affleck.
Okay, all right, good, nice.
I'm a Ben Affleck fan of Batman. I think he's dark, gritty. He was scary, like that. That's my Batman. It's Ben Affleck.
Okay, so it was the gritty aspect of him. I was gonna say, like, that's my follow up. Like, what is
it was
like,
the gritty
why?
aspect because it took from like Frank Miller's Batman, the comic Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, identical, because that's what Zack Snyder was going for. Identical to it, just a bruiser. Batman's supposed to be scary. He's supposed to be like, he's not Superman. Superman's like your everyday, hey, I'm gonna come in and save the day. See you later. Like Batman's like, he doesn't even say anything to you. He's just out. Like he saves the day and he's gone. So yeah, Ben Affleck's my
Okay.
He's a dark, gritty Batman.
I think I know where you're going with this one then. Dark Knight Trilogy, or the animated Batman series.
Oh, see, I do like the Dark Knight trilogy though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go. Yeah, Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
Because there was great. Yeah, Nolan killed that. He was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Would you rather direct a Batman film or star in one?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, I'd probably want to direct one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I heard it's awful. The costume's terrible. You don't feel like intimidating.
Wait a minute.
You just want to.
Are you thinking that you would be Batman in this Batman film?
Yeah, right? Is that my
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you could be anybody. You don't have to be Batman.
Oh, I'd want to be Batman.
Okay.
Or yeah, I'd want to be Batman.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it'd be cool though. No, see, here's the thing. I would like to direct one with Ben Affleck as Batman again.
Okay,
Because
so you'd bring him back.
We
You'd have old
We never
Batman.
got a true Batman movie.
I mean, like this is geriatric Batman though. At this point.
I know. I'm starring as Batman. Okay, so I'm now Batman. And
okay, you're Batman, and he'd have to be Alfred. Like he's too old now to be Batman.
And you're Commissioner Gordon. And so we got this whole thing now. We got this whole
perfect
universe built. Yeah.
Perfect.
Warner's gonna love this one.
Yeah, maybe you can pitch that.
Huge. Yeah, right.
Chad, it has been a lot of fun getting to know you and talking to you today. If people wanted to work with you or follow you, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would say go to, so I have a production company. We do social media, all that stuff. We're an agency. And so Ace Renegade Productions.com. And I also offer one-on-one coaching for CEOs, more personal branding. Like I help people learn how to produce themselves. So that's another path if people are looking to work in that aspect, taking CEOs to the next level when it comes to their social media content. And that's honestly, you can go through the website, but also I have like a store where I have a course actually that is on there as well, where it's stan.store/the Chadwick Wilson. But yeah, I mean, just there. I'm also on social media. I do videos as well. So I'm on IG. So the Chadwick Wilson. Everything's just the Chadwick Wilson. Or Ace Renegade Productions, which is our company.
We can link to all of that in the show notes too for people.
Awesome, man.
It has been a lot of fun learning from you and learning about you. And hope you have a great rest of your day, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Enjoy your day.
Thanks for listening to the Up Arrow Podcast with William Harris. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.